Many people fear the idea of being banned on so called social media. But in a sick society that is promoting everything that can be against you as a human, against your morals and society as a whole, against, that is only supporting agendas against people, not for the people, against against their mental freedom, thus promoting their, mental prison. See, getting banned from such a world is technically one of the greatest freedoms that you can win. Surely you'll no longer have access to that woke shite, to those horrible agendas that only require prisoners of the mind and psyche to exist. See, you're being kicked out of a prison, not from an environment. A sick society wants people to embrace their own prison, to simply live as slaves of their own desires. And also, the sex society simply paints that as the new freedom. Yes, it is only the freedom of the sex society to keep existing as such, as long as its deviants, as its citizens, simply allow it. Yes? So the point is, when you get banned from such a toxic environment, an anti-human environment, remember that that is your freedom. Yes, maybe you no longer have the possibility to wake up or keep trying to wake up the primitives, those who are still sunken. Yes, those who are still stuck in the sunken place. But you have the freedom to choose whether you want to keep trying and therefore find other means to do it, or simply leverage the new freedom that you have gained. Being kicked out of the mainstream is not necessarily a punishment, it is a relief, because when all empires fall they want to take as many innocent souls with them. Yes, and the primitives are all offering themselves as sacrificial material. Yes, in your place. You don't have to take their place. It's like they have signed a certain contract. That is why their awareness is so low. They will always be the target of ASIC society, because people with low awareness won't do shite with their life. Their life will always sound boring, so they will always be the best material to do the bidding of ASIC society, because it will always give them the impression that there's actually the possibility for them to do something for the better good. But the better good is invested. Yes, it's invested a lot of money, a lot of energy, occult powers, and well, a lot of, cultural contamination, a lot of manipulation. And then it gives people the impression that they are actually serving the greater good. Only narcissists can believe in a greater good, a good above anything else, because the only good above everything else is the personal good that they can gain from others. Yes, a sick society will always function by this principle. So, if one would end up freed from these shackles of a sick society, which is crumbling and soon will have crumbled entirely, well, you'll have the possibility to adjust to a new life outside of those prisons. The very few who will survive those prisons will most likely run mad, because suddenly they will feel like drones decerebrated from the hive mind. Yes, they will finally feel for the first time what it feels like to actually be an individual. See, many people have said and have been saying that we are not a race of beings. Yes, for the longest time we have not been any race. We have not even existed much, because we have been programmed to be slaves of, our ancestors' frustrations and misaccomplishments. Finally, when the reign of these parasites is slowly dwindling and soon will be over with, well, finally, then can we actually start experiencing what life truly feels like as a human race, as human individuals who no longer need the approval of others or a sick society to find any piece of meaning within us. Yes, we don't need to give meaning to our existence. It already had all the meaning that we forgot to give. And once the hive mind fully ceases to exist, or the so called matrix, whatever way you want to call it, collapses entirely, finally the remaining people will actually start being able of being the humans they were designed to be, not just being some human doings, some machines that have to perform in order to receive some attention, to receive some validation, and to live life as if external validation is the alpha and omega of your entire existence. That is not how life was designed to be. So hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness. You are appreciated, take care, and never forget, a sick society wants trapped denizens. It wants them sick, it wants them dependent on the sickness of society, which in the end is nothing else but dependency on their own. Because the sickness of those deviants who embrace that sick society is technically the society itself. Yes? So it needs to have you live in the smallest, lowest layers of existence, right? Instead of teaching you how to use your intuition and figure out that you actually don't need this sick society, it wants you to learn mechanically, like you do in schools. Yes? There's no uniqueness that is being taught in schools. There's no exploitation or embracing of the uniqueness that you have. It's just learn and be just like everything else and everyone else and act like them and think in the same exact way. That is technically the embodiment of communism, which is the lowest a sick society can ever reach. And like all empires, it will crumble as well, sooner or later. So, all this being said, take care, enjoy life. This being said, Ferinjan Board signing out.